and welcome. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling well, Alhamdulillah. It's raining a little bit, but it's still quite warm, and think it promises to be a very nice day, inshallah. I have very special guests with me this afternoon rather, and that is Rubina Shah, who is not only my trainer and mentor, but also a very valuable friend. And inshallah, she will be joining me shortly. Plus, I have another special guest who is Coach Maz, and she is a parenting coach, and inshallah, she will be joining us soon too. It's all rush here.
Yes, but it's always good when you're in the good company, mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Rubina.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Lovely to be sat in front of you on the other side of the studio, mashallah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you are extremely busy.
And we all, mashallah, I know you're very busy too. So you're a gem to be here on Heritage Radio, mashallah. Allahumma barik.
So I have to tell the listeners that I attended a very special function last Friday, and it was a dinner for the radio volunteers. And mashallah, it was amazing to see so many people from all walks of life, given up time to come and present on the radio and, bring some hope and positivity to others. And of course, the host was our beautiful and talented sister, Rubina.
That's too kind and too untrue, but alhamdulillah, jazakillah khair. I still regret, that day you gave me some nasiha, you said we didn't speak, and you know what, since that day I'm kicking myself, and then I'm thinking, calm down, Rubina, qadar Allah, it wasn't meant to be, but I actually regret that nobody came and I didn't say to somebody, come on and speak. I think it was quite a highly emotive, in a positive way, event, and for that reason I completely, even though it was on my agenda, completely slipped me. So I have that huge regret, but inshallah there will be other such opportunities.
I'm sure we can do it all again.
Inshallah, of course.
I wouldn't mind having more of that cake. That was delicious.
Well, the sister Aisha, who does the work in the background and has been for so long, she lives in Rochdale, so we're going to have to ask her to bake. I'm trying to find somebody who bakes lovely cakes for tomorrow afternoon this time. So if you're listening and you live locally in this area, please get in touch with myself or Amira, and inshallah we want to have your cakes tomorrow. It's a final goodbye for, actually not tomorrow, Thursday, so they've got advance notice.
Yeah. So of course, it's with some tinge of sadness that I have to say it's Rubina's farewell, and she will be very sorely missed. Mashallah, it's been 6 years, is that correct?
Yes, I mean, I've lost count because, subhanAllah, my radio journey started when I was a teenager. So when I speak to young people and they say, well, they're not usually hesitant, but there have been some shy bunnies from the team as well, who've now become young, amazing adults, mashallah. And I say, well, actually, I wasn't much younger than you, actually. I would say to them all, I was younger than you when I started. So 6 years approximately here at BMHC. But prior to that, the struggle to get your first Muslim radio station, I know you'll know that from the south as well, or I think you would, that, the Radio Ramadans that started.
Heard of it, yeah.
They started in every city decades ago. That's where my journey started.
Well, actually, we used to listen to Sunrise Radio in London.
Oh, okay.
And the reason being that during Ramadan, they used to have a special program during Sahur time and Iftar time. So that was our first sort of Islamic radio.
Subhanallah. It's a bit like the TV show. So whatever we got, which was Asian or remotely Islamic, we just hold on to it, clutch. And I remember there was something called Aapka Haq in Urdu, and then there was the right to reply in English in Northern TV. I don't know if it was with ITV in nationally in the south.
A long time ago, this is like when I was young, so a long time
Similar
ago.
age.
there was a program every Sunday. I think it was called Nay Zindagi, Nay Jeevan, or something like this.
They're all very dramatic, aren't they, these titles?
My parents used to sit there every Sunday to have a look, and that was the only connection with anything like you say, remotely Asian, remotely
Yes.
Islamic, anything.
So that was it. Whether it was bhaji on the beach or, even East is East, they may not have been reflective of Muslim culture.
Definitely not.
But still, we were there, watching them as children or as, growing up. So yes, the media world was very different to what it is now, but I think we still have some similar challenges.
Yeah, so Rubina, I have to ask you, you have some major projects in the pipeline, and one of them is a podcast, is Talk with Ruby. Can you tell me something about that?
Right. Well, at the moment, I mean, they say that until something has become established, don't talk about it very much. It's in the Sunnah as well. So what I will say is that my journey with my love for broadcast media will never stop, inshallah. We've met so many amazing people. I know you have, Amira, with your ambition to speak to so many varied people.
Definitely.
Just a few days ago, I would say you spoke to somebody who had a speech impediment.
Yes.
And mashallah, and we have presenters here who can drive the desk and yet they are blind. I have seen them. One day he said, he asked the presenters, he said, can anybody drive the desk for me? Nobody came forward, so I came late and he was there in charge of the desk without seeing, subhanallah. I'm becoming very fluffy there with my answer. So basically the point is that if I were to move on and do something else, it would definitely be talking about people who have had some real tough time in their life. It doesn't mean that they fled and they were abandoned and then they became something else. Whatever the story is, a heartbreaking story, something that's really reflective of reality in this dunya, those are the kind of people I would love to speak to. And I know, mashallah, you too, Sister Amira, are interested in hearing more people's stories, and that's what I'm about.
Definitely.
That's what I would like to do. We all have a specialism, and there's plenty to go around for listeners and for us to pick up on different stories of different people that we've met over the years or we've heard of. We want to link up with them and say, actually, I want to celebrate your story. So that's the kind of thing that I kind of want to channel into, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. I mean, I've only been here since Ramadan, but subhanallah, I've met so many interesting people, and they've all been so inspiring in their own ways. And your journey, you must have met many people. Do you have any sort of anecdotes, any person that really stood out, or some funny thing that happened?
Well, I like, I don't know about humour. I mean, we have to have humour in this business, because it's like when I say to you, Sister Amira, play the adhan, and you're saying, well, where is it? And I'll say, it's over there, you'll find it, and I'll leave you to it. Or when I have a fit of giggles, I shouldn't use the word F-I-T, actually, when I have a burst of giggling, which sometimes happens live on radio, then I will literally leave the studio. There was one session, I don't think you were here, when we were talking about Well Sister.
I was there.
And we were talking about finger techniques.
Yes, definitely.
And I could not stop laughing, and I think I left the studio, or I just kept bringing my mic down, and I thought, what is going on? People are going to think, what are they doing? Are they drinking? Where's the influence coming from? And the influence was myself, because I always had a giggling problem. But
I don't think I would call it a problem. It's a lovely thing. It's contagious. It makes others happy too.
That's really positive, mashallah. But I have to say, I did speak to the doctors about this when I was in my 20s, late 20s. I did, because literally there was something sad happened, even if it was close to me, so there was no prejudice. It could be that somebody, and there have been some really sad incidences in my own immediately family, for example, death, and I have been the one who I've stood there and I've just burst into laughter, and people have been shocked that, what is she doing?
But I think this is quite common.
Have you seen it?
I
often?
have seen it, yes. It's a thing like at weddings, when people start crying at weddings.
Yes.
It's like their emotions get mixed up, I think. I don't know.
Yes, maybe that's what it is. So my emotions very much get mixed up. When people find something funny, sometimes maybe I don't find it as funny, and I'm there laughing at something, at the an unfortunate circumstance. But you're right, it does trigger a bit of giggles from others as well.
Yeah.
But back to your question. So I have met, mashallah, there's I love it when we meet somebody who is in a position of power, or they're in a position in the entertainment industry, and they are extremely humble. Yes. So, for example, there's this young, and he's handsome, mashallah, young boxer, Amir Khan. He's local, he's northern, And he's really, mashallah, very humble. And I met him. I said, come and be interviewed by youngsters. It happened a couple of years ago. And he still keeps in touch. And I've often asked him, I said, come in and talk to our presenters and whatever. And he's always willing.
Isn't he in the States now? Doesn't he live in the States?
He could be. I don't think. I'm not followed him maybe the last few weeks. So maybe. Mashallah, he's fighting. And, well, I'm saying mashallah, Allah protect him and preserve him. But you need people who are happy and comfortable in their own skin, and that they don't forget their roots. I've met young models here, male models in particular, and they are humble as pie, and I've been shocked. And mashallah, again, we want to keep in touch with people like that because they've not forgotten their deen roots, which is really important. This is Heritage Radio, after all, a Muslim platform. It's not a platform to say, look at me, I'm the only one who's achieved this. It's about sharing goodness and khair.
Of course, definitely. And the whole point is to inspire others to do things in their community as well. And so where will you be doing these podcasts from?
So it's not, there's nothing, decided at the moment. I just feel as though this is something that I would like to develop more, and I would do it in, there's no, sometimes it's great to do things and to use a cliche organically, and that's what I'm about, I think. Sometimes Allah just makes a pathway. I remember going to Hajj, and I used to hear about these stories where if you go to Hajj, some sisters find that there's a pathway suddenly that opens and they can actually touch the Kaaba.
Oh, it happened to me.
Did it? Subhanallah. And it happened to me.
Not on Hajj. I went for Umrah, and I was with my mother-in-law, and we were doing the tawaf.
Yes.
And she said to me, I really want to touch the Kaaba. And I said, how can we? There's so many people. And we were way out,
right.
the larger circle kind of thing.
Yes.
And subhanAllah, it was just like, we just went straight through.
And that's exactly what happened to me. So miracles do happen. And that's the analogy I'd like to make, because when you go to Hajj, it's heaving at the moment. Obviously, there are restrictions. Inshallah, bi'idhnillah, things will change. Inshallah. But when you go when it's thoroughly busy, that's when you think, gosh, this is near impossible. And there's people just barging in, and there's people who are a little bit, let's just say, they have less decorum, and they're just ambitious to touch the Kaaba. I wanted to, and suddenly people made a pathway for me. And similarly with our lives in the dunya, if you do something for the sake of Allah, and we need to be reminded constantly that am I check in, we have to check ourselves. Am I doing it for the sake of Allah? Please Allah, make it, purify my intentions. That's when the pathways open. So with regards to podcasts, that's where I'm at. It's, sharing stories that matter. And inshallah, if anybody's listening and if you have a story to tell, yes, please get in touch with Heritage Radio. Our email addresses are the same. They're not changing, info@heritageradio.org.uk. But also, get in touch and let's see if we can really boast of our Muslim community and the success stories that we truly have. And people just hide and think, oh, it's not a big deal. But actually, it is a big deal. You've spoken to Shamila, and she's very inspiring. And there are loads of people like that. Yes. There are loads of people, but they don't necessarily put themselves in the spotlight or post on social media because they can't, or they think it's not going to impact. But what they don't realize is if they do it, it encourages others to do the same.
Yeah, and I know that there is one WhatsApp group that I'm on. Every single day, a sister, she shares a reminder. And I don't even know the sister. But I'd love to get to know her because, subhanAllah, it's just such an amazing thing. She takes time out, even if it takes her 5-10 minutes or whatever, just put together a little reminder. And this is what we need. So, Rubina, I really think you should write as well.
I don't think my strength is in writing. Otherwise, I'd love to. I mean, I've always had a pen and pad. If you go in my bag now, you're welcome to do so. There's tissues. There's lots of tissues because I always have allergies. But there's also pens and a pencil case and lots of books. Because I do like to write and scribble away. So I've never actually done it professionally as such, apart from news reporting and stuff like that. But in terms of writing a book, I haven't. I've never thought of that, or writing articles or anything of that nature.
I loved it that you gave all the presenters, you presented us all with books. And that's such a unique and it's a lovely gift. It's a very thoughtful gift. So what's your favorite kind of book? Do you like reading yourself?
Well, subhanAllah, I felt really, it was a difficult one because, we were both talking. I'm saying, what do we give everybody? Even it was your gift supposed to be. I said, what do I give you? And funnily, Zubair was saying, oh, even me. I said, yes, you too. What do we get you? On a budget, on a shoestring. And I thought, actually, I love to read when I have the time, and I love these well-being. I even have a batch of cards in the office at the moment about well-being, so you can either colour a card or you can say, I promise, I'll pass them on to you, Amira, I promise to be kind to myself. For some people, it's like get the sick bucket out, and for others, it's actually, I think I deserve to read this card. So I've always liked well-being and positive messages. There's a book I read called Pause, which I love. Pause.
P-A-U-S-E.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, and it just is basically saying take it easy, calm down, think things through, don't feel like you've always got to rush. And people like yourself and me, if I may say so, Amira, we're always rushing around. We're always doing loads. And often we don't enjoy that moment. So like now, I'm enjoying the privilege of sitting in front of you in that your lovely green therapy, mashallah, colour. But I'm also thinking, gosh, I've got to dash here. I've got this deadline to make before I leave. And, we're constantly kind of like putting pressure on ourselves, those whisperings. So we do need reminders. And I think a book is a good old hideaway. And it's a lost talent. People forget to read and they forget to write. It's very sad.
It's true. I think most of the reading I do now is online, which is sad. But we tend to just read articles. I can't even remember the last time I actually read a book from cover to cover.
Yeah, I am the same. I just dip in and out.
I will, and because there's so much variety of books that you can read.
And classics that you can read again and again as well.
Definitely.
And I'm certainly looking forward to reading the book that you gifted me, mashallah, jazakallah khair. It was a lovely surprise. And eating the chocolates as well. I'll put them away so when I do leave, I'll just binge a little bit, not too much on my favourite chocolates as well.
So have you got any sort of plans for the week or so? Are you doing anything special with the family? Maybe you've got some free time?
Yes, I think quietly just walk away and do a bit of reflecting and extra ibadah. I'm going to every week there's always something. There are groups that both of us are on and people say, oh, let's meet, and I'm thinking, whatever, I've got no time to meet, which sounds awful, but when you're feeling stressed. So now I'm going to make it a thing of meeting, and inshallah we'll have our own get-togethers as well, Sister Amira, and I'd love to do that more often now. So one sister, she invited me to a coffee morning. I didn't meet that. There was another one in the evening for ladies only. I didn't meet that. And there's even a coffee morning I set up on a group chat because we happen to all our children attend the same school, and every time they organise something, I'm never there. So now is the time to do those things.
And believe me, it makes such a difference because that I'm from London. There I was working full time.
Oh, okay.
And I was very reluctant to come to Manchester. But since I've been in Manchester, it's really opened doors for me. And just to have the opportunity to be in the community and attend these kind of events, even like local events or something, it's lovely.
It is.
It's really nice.
And then we forget that there are people like, there's a lovely sister, can't mention her name, but she was going to come in today, and she was just explaining that she's actually having a miserable time. And I felt so ashamed because I was too busy saying, can you come? Can I pick you up? Are you going to come now or not? I've only got this much time. She asked me if I could drop her off home. I said, no, I can't. I can only pick you up. It was all very professional, kind of non-sentimental, non-emotive speak that I was sending her, messages like that. And then finally she said to me, I'm feeling that people here are really distant. And then I stopped, and back to the name of that book, I paused and I thought, astaghfirullah, what have I just done? This sister is feeling lonely because she's not from this country. She speaks the lingo beautifully well, but she's not from here. And all I needed to say was, right, okay, I'm busy because of this, but tell me how I can, accommodate you at this time. And she's actually intending to leave the country. It's so bad for her. So we make dua for her. But sometimes that importance of pausing and just seeing that other people also need sometimes a little bit of help, which you overlook when you're running around like a mad hatter, subhanallah.
There is a saying I read once, I think it was in a book or something, and it said, people will forget what you did. they will forget what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
Ah,
And
so
I
profound.
yeah,
Subhanallah.
and you know, the amazing thing is that wherever I've been in the Manchester community, whatever event I've been to, someone always knows you. Mashallah,
Subhanallah.
mashallah. You know, I think, well, when I said everybody's best friend, I think that sort of sums it up.
That's so nice, Sister Amira. I ask myself, I whisper to myself sometimes, because we have had moments, but it's all about fleeting moments where you're rushing.
Yeah.
And I've seen you, and I've gone back to the car and I thought, I don't think I should have said it like that. And, you don't even know, because I've not had the time. I've not made the time to say it to you. So I'm saying it to you today that, please forgive me. And I say that to the listeners because people won't know what my role was here, because we didn't make it obvious. And I think that's fairly appropriate, because they just need to know the station manager. They don't need to know the station manager's name. And so again, I reach out and I apologize if there are, weaknesses. And of course there are. Then please forgive me, and forgive anybody else who you feel that, because we receive messages, mashallah, more and more. They're coming in thick and fast, and we want them to. And a lot of people they want improvements, and we love that, because we don't want to be stagnant at all. We have to improve all the time. So I want to ask for forgiveness from yourself, Sister Amira, live on air, and inshallah from everybody.
No.
Jazakallah khair.
I'm the one who keeps forgetting where the PFL button is. So inshallah we will be speaking to another sister very soon.
Yes, Maz.
Coach Maz, and she is a parenting coach. And would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, so this sister, she sounds quite young. I've not met her in person, and she's keen to speak to yourself, Amira, and to share the gems that she has discovered in her journey of advising people. She has sessions, which is amazing, for men, for fathers, for mothers, and for children. And then she'll have sessions which are together as well. Now, she's not physically in the Northwest, but she apparently she arranges Zoom sessions, which are paid for sessions. And in this era, again, we all need to get the advice. And, subhanAllah, there are certain things that we are guided to do. So usually we're taught how to cook, or we're taught how to, operate a car and things like that. But marriage and, dealing with marriage is something, and parenting is something we're not really trained in naturally in this country.
We learn on the job, and it could be a long training. Yes,
and people aren't aware, and, we assume they should be aware. So this sister is there to advise us and to offer us some inspiration, and not that we're all doing rubbish as parents, but actually maybe some trying different ways, different alternatives. So that's what she's here for, and she'll be calling live, inshallah, in the studio.
Inshallah. Rubina, thank you so much again for taking out the time to come and speak to us. I love you for the sake of Allah, and hope to see you soon.
Jazakallah khair. May he for whose sake you love me, love you too. Jazakallah khair, Amira, as well.
And we're just going for a short break, and we'll be back soon. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back. And mashallah, we have lovely sister Maz. She's Coach Maz. Do you want to be called Coach Maz or Sister Maz? Assalamu alaikum. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, can you hear me?
Yes, alhamdulillah. Yes. How are you, sister?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. So you are a parenting coach, mashallah, and based in London, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. So tell me about your journey of becoming a coach, and what kind of things you do. How long have you been a coach?
It's very new that I've become a coach, but it was the personal event that triggered in my life at the start of last year. And, I just kind of got into discovering more about parenting, learning more about the science and theory of it. Mm-hmm. And, it just led me on to different things that, we didn't even know about. When we think about why our husbands and midwives and doctors tell us certain things, we don't really think about it. And we just, sometimes as, Asian coaches, we just brush it aside that, we know better, our coach knows better. But they actually, they look at the theory of it, the science of it, and, when a child is between the ages of 1 and 3, they develop 90% of their brain, and this is why professionals tell us how
Yeah.
important it is to nurture our children during this time.
Hmm. So what is your background as like
My background,
education or experience?
in terms of my background, I come from like retail, customer service, and health, working in a pharmacy and business background.
Yes.
So it's very varied, and this parenting thing is something, after I became a mother, and
Mashallah.
just over the time, mashallah, you just discover new things and just discover your own self. Alhamdulillah.
It's very true what you said, like what Rubina was saying a bit earlier. We learn a lot of things, a lot of skills are taught to us, but concerning the major roles in our lives, becoming parents or getting married, we don't really have that training. And for a lot of people, they just learn as they go. They learn the ropes as they go, learning on the job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, we in parenting generally, it's just not our culture, it's everyone. We pick up how our parents parented us, our parents pick up on how their parents parented them.
Yes.
So it's just like, we just bring it on whatever we've just been, it's like the norm to us.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only when you start discovering and start learning and understanding, the real needs of what your children actually need. There's things like children don't listen to parents, and we don't understand what their needs are properly. And
Hmm.
when we only learn about this parenting journey is when we understand really, sometimes a child may be giving us challenging behavior, but in terms of what they really need, it could be something completely different.
Yes, it's trying to read their emotions. This is what I think. I remember one of my sons, I think he was like 2 at that time, when we'd been in Oxford Street, been shopping, and we went into Mother Care, and there was a table there with Lego, and I thought he can sit there for a while. And I just turned my back, and he'd thrown the whole table with Lego, and he was screaming and shouting. And then at that point, I realized, you know what, he's really tired. And I think
Yes,
that's what it is. I could so easily, I could have started shouting back at him. And
yeah.
I think that's what it is. So what kind of like advice do you provide?
I do all sorts of work with parents. I'll do coaching sessions where we can have, we can work on a plan where parents have, for example, a certain need that their child might be lacking. So we will work on a plan to, implement that one back into their lives. Or I can just provide like one-off advice sessions, you're going through something difficult, and, I'm able to provide advice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you might have difficulties, just communicating and connecting with your child, and I'm
Mm.
able to, work with the parent, work with the child, and help, kind of like mediation sort of thing, and help the
Mm-hmm.
parent and the child work together, on an age appropriate level, inshallah.
Mm. So what ages do you deal with for children? Is it up to teenage years or beyond? Uh, what kind of
I,
age
I like
groups?
to I like to be flexible with the people I work with because you're a parent for life, so that's how I think of it. So that's, generally speaking, I would aim to work with 4 to 11-year-olds, but I do deal with different ages as well, like younger than 4,
Mm.
teenagers, above teenagers, young adults.
So what have you found is like the most challenging group for children's age? Which do you think is the most challenging? I know you get the terrible twos, but also you get the
Yeah,
teenagers. So, or do you think is they all have specific problems or issues?
I think I think all ages do certainly have problems at different stages and ages.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just if you work with your child from a young age, if you implement good behavior from a very young age, and inshallah, as your child goes older, you'll have less difficulties within your parenting. But if
Mm.
you've left it about looking after your children when they're younger, then when they get to teenagers and they start hanging out with friends because you're never there for them,
Mm.
then you just get those teenagers that just don't want to listen, and then it just becomes difficult and challenging for parents. So I
Mm.
always say, it's best to start young, but it's never too late, inshallah.
Mm. And how important is it for both parents to be there for their children? Because nowadays you have both parents working, they have less time with their children. Does that affect a child's sort of mental state?
If you're not there for your children, and obviously it does have an impact on them. And this is what happens when the child gets older, and even throughout the young age, like 5, 6 young year olds, we're finding them addicted to devices and
Yes.
iPads, because we're not there for them. And then the older they get, they start discovering new platforms on social media and Snapchat, and then they go down the wrong path. It's because we're not there for them. We're not there for our children and providing them the needs that they need emotionally. And they just turn to friends, and they find that connection with others and strangers and friends, and then going out and hanging out. And these days everything's at your fingertips. So you have to be very careful, especially with our teens. How we treat them and how much we connect them. And I always say, 5-10 minutes, regularly, you should give it to your child. It's that special time with them, and regularly, consistently, and you will notice the difference, and your child will look forward to that special time, and you will enjoy that moment, and that will develop your connection emotionally, physically, and you'll have a better relationship, inshallah. And the more better the relationship, the more better the connection, the more your child will listen to you, not just in front of you, but behind your back as well, inshallah.
That's very interesting what you're saying. So really, you don't need like half a day or something. Just 10-15 minutes quality time.
That's it. The main thing is individually you give your child, each one of them, that special me time with them. Whether it's reading with them, it's listening to something they've got a problem with, or doing an activity with younger children, or just going out with and spending a day with them. It just depends on how much time you have. But little is better than nothing.
Yes, and I agree that we should be involved with your children, even as they get older. Otherwise that we create that schisms is we've that gap between them. So I was looking at your flyer, and it says you provide talking therapy sessions for children and observation and advice sessions. So observation advice session, that sounds very interesting. Do you actually go into people's homes, or how does that work?
At the moment, everything is in Zoom, so that allows me to reach, all over the UK and even international, alhamdulillah. So, I have been using Zoom as a platform, so it makes it easier as well. And basically, I would just observe, a small time where you're with your children, and whatever challenges you're facing, I get to see it firsthand, and then I would speak to you and discuss it with you, and, provide some advice and guidance, inshallah.
That's very good, mashallah. And how many sort of, I know this is fairly new for you, so how many clients have you had so far? You obviously you're building up your portfolio.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I've had clients from Malaysia, Australia, UK,
mashallah,
Canada.
Mashallah. You're doing very
well.
I
always, and because of word of mouth, it really spreads. So always have people messaging me through WhatsApp, where I've got my main group, and people with me through that, and I have discussions with them over the WhatsApp conversations and whatever they have. I'm always willing to help. Alhamdulillah, whatever I can benefit the ummah, I do try my best to do so, inshallah.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, so the name of your company is A Child's Heart Parenting. So it's a very, very nice name, very nice title. And what kind of tips can you give us for children, say toddlers? I suppose it'll be different for different age groups, but in general, what kind of tips? You mentioned quality time. That's very important. Is that with one parent or both parents or one at a time?
It would be generally with one parent with each child individually. Like I
Uh-huh.
said, even if it's 5, 10 minutes, that means really a lot for that child, especially if they're younger children and, you're always like, for example, a father who's always at work, and if he comes home from work, gives them the child, that 5, 10 minutes of reading a book with them, or, over the weekend, giving them individually each child, quality time playing with them or
Hmm.
doing an activity with them, that martial art really helps with the
Hmm.
connection. And emotionally, it really makes them feel good about themselves and gives them that
Hmm.
internally confidence.
I think I found one of the easiest things was really bedtime. And like with my daughter, I used to have two books. One was a picture book that we look through together, and another book would be a reading book that I read to her, and she would just listen. And it's just that bonding time, really, isn't it? And
Yeah,
yeah, that's really. So, how many children do you have yourself?
alhamdulillah,
mashallah. And how old?
7, mashallah,
Mashallah, mashallah. Have you been practicing on him as well?
on her, yes,
On her, yes.
alhamdulillah, yes. Yeah. And the thing is, because, I've started from very young,
Yes.
so it's mashallah, I noticed that, I suffer less challenging behaviors. I've got, alhamdulillah, much better connection. And I didn't realize all of this. Sometimes we do things with our children that we don't actually realize what we're doing, and it's just all natural to us. It's only when we read about it, when we learn about it, when we get, professional help as well sometimes, that we're
Hmm.
actually like, oh, I'm doing that already, It
Yes.
clicks.
Yeah, yeah.
Mashallah.
So one question I wanted to ask you is how has lockdown affected parents? I mean, for a lot of parents, they were actually thrown into like homeschooling and working from home, and getting that balance, and it must have been a very difficult time for parents as much as for children. Have you?
It's been,
Sorry.
it's been difficult. I've had a lot of good and I've had a lot of bad. There are some children who have been thriving with homeschooling and who didn't do
Oh,
well at school.
really? That's
Yeah,
very good.
mashallah. And there are some children who have, not taken it so well. They've missed their friends, they missed the socialization. And,
Hmm.
there's a lot that have suffered anxiety and loneliness and, just being outside that social circle of friends. And
Hmm.
because of, lockdowns, we've not, even as us as parents, we've not been allowed to visit, close family friends and
Yes.
family members that we ourselves have struggled. And then, on top of working from home. So it's been difficult, but alhamdulillah, we're getting out of that phase now. So,
Yeah,
mashallah.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And I see from your flyer that you also have products available as well, which sound very, very nice. You've got like, what's it? Monthly printable cards for mums, dads, and kids based on an Islamic perspective. Gratitude cards, affirmation cards, positive parenting quotes cards, bedtime affirmation cards, and mindfulness cards. That sounds lovely. So, is it something that you have designed yourself?
Yes, mashallah. I work with the parents and, I do a variety of cards for them. So I will do like a mix up of positive affirmations or gratitude cards or bedtime affirmation cards, and I always base it on Islamic perspective. So when we do thankfulness, that's also shukr in our religion.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we are thankful, the more Allah blesses us. So I kind of want to implement that into our children from a very young age.
Mm.
That even they learn, the older they get, that they are thankful for, just simple blessings like the food that we eat and the beds that we sleep on that are so comfy at night. And moms even get to think that, alhamdulillah, I've got this laundry to do, even though I'm so tired, but alhamdulillah, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah because I've
Mm.
got children, inshallah.
Yeah,
So there's
positive
little
thinking.
yeah, instead of that negative, oh God, I've got a pile of laundry and when I'm gonna get this done, and just changing that negativity into positive and the more positive you are, the more better you are as a person, and the more you're able to love yourself.
Oh, definitely. This is very crucial, and mashallah, it's a very important job you are doing. So, these products, are they available like standalones, or is it part of the sessions that you provide?
No, they're all individual. I do them separately, as this how you would practice it off anyone else. So they can contact me on my email address, achildpartparenting@gmail.com, and I can work with them, and whatever they wish, I can do mixture of mother and daughter sets of gratitude cards, or just positive affirmations or positive quotes that you can say to your children. Things like, "Oh, you're doing so well today, mashallah. I'm so proud of you," and I personalize them as well with their names. So, alhamdulillah.
That's very good. And I'll repeat that email for all listeners who are interested. And it's a child's heart parenting @gmail.com. And is it two emails? Or do you have a website as well?
The other ones are my social media accounts. Instagram is a child's heart parenting gem.
Okay.
And I've also got Twitter, a child's heart parenting, and Facebook, a child's heart parenting.
Mashallah, mashallah. I can't understand that you said you started this recently, but you've already achieved so much. You've got a holistic company, your holistic approach, really, but not only the sessions, but you provide the products as well. And these are very, very important. And also you provide it says personalized mugs for the mummy self-love moments, kids happy days, or dad's relaxing sessions. Very interesting. So what are the kids happy days? Not just going to McDonald's, I hope.
No. I do them, like, for example, they could do something, a specific quote that their mommy or their daddy would be saying to them, and they could get it personalized, or they could get like a photograph of themselves and with a little quote on them, mashallah. So it just gives them a little smiling moment, and just remember that positive quote, inshallah.
Inshallah. May Allah bless you and put barakah in your life and in your business. Mashallah, what you're doing is very, very important, and it's a skill. It's a lost skill. Like Rubina was saying earlier, we just tend to be so rushed all the time, and we just don't stop. We don't even stop to think or consider other people, who might be lonely, or who might need advice, or even a helping hand. And so, inshallah. Sorry,
I just wanted to say that when you're talking about women feeling lonely and stuff, mashallah, there's another project that I'm also doing as well. I provide parenting tools, and I'm also organizing like a social session where I have parents, mothers specifically, that they come in, join my session on Zoom. This is so everyone can access it, and I always have like a special guest coming on, like perhaps psychologists or teachers, or other people that work in the industry, and they're always available to provide tips. So this is a new session that inshallah I'm starting from October. Again, they can reach me through my email address for joining, inshallah.
And whereabouts are you in London?
I'm in the south of London, but I reach everywhere.
Mashallah, mashallah. It's been lovely speaking to you. You're very inspirational, and inshallah, I wish you the best in your endeavors, and you're doing a great job. And just for the listeners again, I'll repeat it. So it's a child's heart parenting @gmail.com, or Instagram at a child's heart parenting gems. I will definitely be looking into that. Any final words, Sister Mas?
I'm willing to offer everyone that contacts through the radio show a 25% discount on my sessions, and I'm also willing to offer a free advice session to everyone that gets in touch using the quote.
Mashallah, that's very generous of you. That's very generous. So listeners, please take up this offer. That's an amazing offer. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Coach Maz. Am I saying it correctly? Maz,
Yes.
yes?
Jazakallah. Walaikum
And
salam.
Jazakallah khair for joining me today. Assalamu
Barakallah.
alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. And that was lovely, Sister Maz, Coach Maz, and a great offer. Please avail it. Right now, we're just going for the news. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I've been very lucky today. I've had two very inspiring guests. Of course, first Rubina Shah, everyone's best friend. Mashallah, I wish her well and I wish her continual success and barakah in this life and the next. Mashallah, she's been such a motivation for so many people, and it's going to be some time getting used to be coming into the radio and not seeing her around, but inshallah it's all for the best. And my second guest was lovely Sister Coach Maz from A Child's Heart Parenting, and just to mention her very special, very generous offer. She is providing 25% off for any sessions for anyone who signs up for a session. And what does she provide? She provides one-to-one individual coaching, family coaching, talking therapy sessions for children, advice sessions, observation and advice sessions, WhatsApp advice, and guidance advice. And she also provides personal affirmation cards and mindfulness cards, which I think is a very beautiful, lovely idea. And I'll repeat the email. So it's achildsheartparenting@gmail.com, and you can look at some of her work and products on Instagram at A Child's Heart Parenting Gems. So really important, mashallah. She has experience, and she has helped so many other people of different ages as well, different children of different ages. So please get in touch with her. Mashallah, she's doing a great job. So what I was talking about before is that I attended a lovely function on Friday, which was a dinner not only for the radio volunteers, volunteer presenters, but also like a farewell to Rubina. And she presented everyone with a little card, and the message was pretty amazing. And I'm going to read that message just now. And it's a quote from Gordon B. Hinckley. I don't really know who this person is, but the quote is very nice. "The happiest people I know are those who lose themselves in the service of others." And mashallah, it's quite profound. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if we don't have mercy on those around you, then Allah will not show mercy to you. It's so important. Community is so important in Islam. We don't live individual lives. Rather, we are defined by our community, and it's our responsibility to look after our flocks. Each one of us, as a prophet, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, said, each one of us is a shepherd to his flock. And that could be a mother to her children. It could be an employer to his employees. It could be an imam to his congregation. And you can see how everyone has a group of people that they are responsible to for their welfare and for fulfilling their needs. There is a hadith. There's another hadith by the Prophet, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, and he said, "A Muslim is a brother of another Muslim. He neither wrongs him nor does he hand him over to one who does him wrong. If anyone fulfills his brother's needs, Allah will fulfill his needs. If one relieves a Muslim of his troubles, Allah will relieve his troubles on the day of resurrection. And this has been reported in Bukhari and in Muslim. So I just want to stop and think about, how we can help the people around us. And on that point, I want to talk about a person who's, had an extraordinary life. His name was Abdul Sattar Eidi. He was probably he was the most renowned philanthropist and social worker in Pakistan, and was a man of integrity and vision. He died a few years ago, but his legacy was amazing. All this month we have been speaking about not only death, but what we need to prepare for the hour before we, inshallah, we will be meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again, and put in as much good deeds as you can. And also we've been talking about leaving a legacy. So you can think about, imagine imagine that you are witnessing your own funeral. It might be quite morbid to think about, but imagine you are there. So who's there around you? Is it your family, your friends? And what are they talking about? What are they saying about you? How will you be remembered? And what have you left for them? What have you left of good deeds or sadqa jariyah? It's so important. Community is so important. So I want to tell you a little bit about this amazing person, Abdul Sattar Eidi. He received many awards during his lifetime, and it's been said that he single-handedly he built a national network of free healthcare institutions caring for society's unwanted. And how did it all start? When he was a young man, he noticed that if some people had died, because of poverty, because of violence, and that these victims had just been left, their bodies, subhanAllah, just been left to rot in the streets. And as a young man, he thought, I need to do something about this. So what he did, he helped clear the streets and respectfully bury the dead. He didn't think that, this is somebody else's responsibility, or I have nothing to do with it. He was very proactive, and he decided to take things in his own hand. And he found a need, and it decided to address this need. And throughout the years, this was just the beginning. Throughout the years, he started an ambulance service, and he had a lot of free projects for the people in his community, especially for the vulnerable, for the old, for the needy. He provided, he set up like homes for people in need. Clothes were distributed for people in need, and his charity just grew and grew. And he himself was a very humble man. He worked with his wife, and there's another quote that was said. I think this was from Eidi or BBC News. I think I got confused. But he said, the husband-wife team has come to share the common vision of a single-minded devotion to the cause of alleviation of human sufferings and a sense of personal responsibility to respond to each call for help, regardless of race, creed, or status. So he really showed the way, and single-handedly almost, he set up this charity and helping people, not only in Pakistan, but further afield as well, over many, many years. And it's reported that he himself was so humble, he actually owned 2 sets of clothes. I think it was 2 or 3 sets of clothes. That's all he owned. And, he would use them in rotation. But he didn't have many possessions. He lived an austere life. So he was trying to follow the example of Prophet Muhammad. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. He showed that it is possible to follow in the footsteps of the Prophet in terms of leading an austere life and commitment to the welfare of the needy, and that refining one's character is not only an obligation but within the grasp of every individual. And that's very interesting to think. Sometimes we think, this is the way I am. A person might say, I'm stubborn, this is the way I am. Or I am short-tempered, that's it, this is the way I am. But you can change, you can refine your character. And it takes a lot, it's not easy. But like the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I've only come to refine character. So isn't it important on us to try and do that ourselves? So I will continue talking about this just after a short break.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aisha Khan. I work with the Flohesion Foundation. Do you suffer from depression, stress, or anxiety? If so, we offer free, no obligation counseling sessions to the BMHC community. All you have to do to qualify is fill in a simple form on the Flohesion Foundation website under Mead Counseling, or call me on 07549 571 970 and we can get one of our experienced counsellors to contact you.
IMRA has been a UK-based charity for the last 20 years and has been providing the gift of speech and hearing to disadvantaged children, mainly in Pakistan, for the last 10 years. IMRA has provided one of the largest free cochlear implant programs in the world to nearly 100 children, with each implant costing £25,000 or $35,000. Please help Imran to transform the lives of these children and their families by donating at imra-doctors.com and follow the link. That's imra-doctors.com.
The challenges of lockdown has meant we at Heritage Radio have been listening closely to your feedback, and we hear you. This is why at Heritage Radio 90.6 FM, we are launching exciting new shows supporting the well-being of you and those around you. If you would like to join our campaign in sharing your experiences towards a healthy mind, body and soul, then email us at info@heritageradio.org.uk or text 07751 939 396 and one of our friendly team members will get back to you. Heritage Radio, supporting the wellness of you and your neighbourhood.
We all know the importance of looking after orphans. With Aid for Action, you can help orphans and less fortunate children in Pakistan in a number of ways, such as sponsoring a Hafiz or an Alim or various orphanages. There are many more projects, such as building masjids, wells, Qurbani. What's more, Aid for Action operates a 100% donation policy, ensuring all of your money is spent on those in need. So let's help people to help themselves. Log on to aidforaction.org. That's AID4action.org.
Call our sales team on 0161 883 2266. 0161 883 2266.
The British Muslim Heritage Centre is an Islamic centre and registered charity established 12 years ago in the city of Manchester in the UK. Your donations will go towards supporting and helping us carry on with the following activity: publishing Islamic books, organising open days for non-Muslims, Islam awareness training and workshops for non-Muslims, Islamic exhibitions, Islamic lectures, Islamic seminars, Quran tafsir classes, Muslim radio station broadcasting 24 hours a day, health programs for the community, youth club, Muslim scouts for children, Friday khutbah in the English language, combating Islamophobia, research papers, GCSE Islamic studies, and much more. The Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said, when a person dies, their deeds come to an end except for three: Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous charity, or knowledge from which benefit is gained, or a righteous child who prays for you. Please donate today and support our work.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. And mashallah, we're in the second half of our program. The first half we were speaking to Sister Rubina and also Sister Maz, who is a parenting coach. And throughout this month I have been talking about how to leave a legacy. Each one of us is individual. We all have our own sets of talents and skills, and we can all use those to help others around us. And we don't have to go too far. It could be just your family, just within your family, your siblings, your parents, your children, or it could be your extended family, your community. But we can all do something. Some people are good at cooking, and like my guest last week, Dr. Shamila, maybe they can cook for the community. There's others who are soft-spoken and logical and good at giving advice. So like my guest today, they can help coach someone or mentor someone and support them through difficult times. Still others, maybe you're good at just talking to people, providing a listening ear. So many people, their problems are halved just by talking through to someone. Or maybe you have business acumen and you are good at maybe finances or something. You can help someone start up their own business and give advice that way. There is so much that you can do. And so I urge everyone to get involved with their community. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides an apt description of a believer as one who not only upholds the rights of the Creator with regards to acts of ibadah, but also fulfills his communal responsibility. What this means is someone who not only does his religious obligation, fasting in Ramadan, praying 5 times a day, reading the Quran, giving zakat, all of the following the laws, Islamic laws, but also he fulfills his communal responsibility, helping the people around him. And especially in this verse, this is verse 177 from Surah Baqarah, and translation of the meaning is, it is not righteousness that you turn your faces towards east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah and the last day and the angels and the book and the messengers, to spend of your substance out of love for him, for your kin, for orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer, for those who ask, and for the ransom of slaves, to be steadfast in prayers and practice regular charity, to fulfill the contracts which you made, and to be firm and patient in pain or suffering and adversity, and throughout all periods of panic. Such are the people of truth, the God-fearing. And subhanAllah, I think in an earlier episode I spoke at length about this verse and what it actually means. There is so much we can do if we know of someone in the community who is ill, maybe we can help them in some way, or who is suffering. It's just so important. And unfortunately, one of the biggest diseases, I would say, of the modern age is loneliness. How many people, especially elderly people, are living by themselves? And not only through lockdown, but it's a regular thing for them. They're living on their own, and loneliness really sets in. Maybe the only time they hear anything is just on the TV. So what can we do to help? We have to be united in our community, and we have to be strong and help each other first. Too often, we think, this is not our responsibility. But it's really important. With the state of the Muslim Ummah as it is today, we cannot afford to turn a blind eye to the problems prevailing in our communities. And mashallah, there are lots of people who are doing amazing work, and we need to support them. We must forget our petty differences in favor of the benefit of the common good. Too often, we start arguing about random things, petty things. Do you raise your hands after coming up from ruku in salah, or questioning, following a particular imam, or subhanallah, there's so many things that we just fall into, like petty differences. But look at what unites us. That's the most important. The most ideal welfare state has been ordained by Allah as Islam, where precedents have to be met to ensure a just society, financially in the payment, collection and distribution of zakah, intellectually where those who learn the religion in depth have the obligation to impart this knowledge on others, spiritually and emotionally by having masjids as hubs of the community to share in each other's joys and sadness, so no one feels left out. And subhanallah, this when I was researching about Idi Saab, mashallah, he was such an amazing man, and this is what he did. He was proactive. He didn't feel that this is someone else's responsibility. He decided to do something about the issue, about the social issue. And may Allah give him the highest ranks in Jannah for his dedication over many decades. And I hope that we can all learn from this and build strong community connections. So we're going to stop now for a nasheed break, and I'll be back with you soon. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. So that nasheed that I played just now was by Abdullah Roll, and he is my featured artist of this week, and he is a London-based artist, and mashallah, he is being very influential in the nasheed scene. So check him out. There's some great nasheeds out there. So we've been talking about leaving a legacy, and what you can do to make a difference. And one difference you can do is to be active on social media. Especially for our youth, it's very important to relate good messages, and messages about positivity and hope and Islam in general on social media, because this is what most young people are accessing. be it TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. So I hope, inshallah, we can have more, what do I say, YouTube stars coming in and I can talk to them. If you would like to take part in Heritage Radio, please don't hesitate to call. And, we all learn together and we all have a common goal, and that is to instill positivity and hope to people around us. There's too much negativity, and it's this one quote that I like to say from Sattar Edi Saab himself, and he said, it is everyone's responsibility to take care of others. That's what being human means. If more people thought that way, so many problems could be solved. Subhanallah. Let's get back to being human. So for so long we've let machines and applications and computers and the screen in general almost take over our lives. Let's try and get back to being human, that human touch, the human voice. It's been a trying time the last almost 2 years, and as we build a more positive future, let's try and be more human. That's my message for you today. And also, to remember Allah through your service with others. And inshallah, we will be talking about different topics in future episodes. Next month, inshallah, I want to be speaking about heritage. What does heritage mean? And why in particular is because very recently I was at an event, and when the meal was served, the dessert was sweet rice or zarda, and it's a Pakistani dessert. And I was not keen to eat it. I said, well, I'm not too keen on that kind of food. And I was accused of being a coconut. Can you believe it? And I said, no, definitely that's not the case. I love Pakistani food and not just Pakistani, Punjabi food, Mediterranean, Middle Eastern. I love a variety of food, and definitely not, if it's a particular dessert that I don't like, it doesn't mean that I disrespect my heritage in any way. What do you think? How important is heritage? How important is it to remember either your own homeland or the homeland of your parents, and continue their traditions and the heritage in their food or the clothing, or even in certain customs? How important is it? Even at the time of the Prophet, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, in Mecca there were remnants of the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. However, they'd become corrupted over time. And when Islam came, it took the good elements of Arab society, and either they remained intact or they were modified to be included in Islam. For instance, about keeping trust and being trustworthy. These are good human values, and they were valued in the pagan society of Mecca at that time as much as they are valued in Islam. So Islam didn't come to sort of cancel out all traditions and customs, only those that were definitely against the message of Islam. So this is what I will be talking about next month, and not only the heritage when it comes to food and clothing, but also in our interactions with others. and maybe how we bring up a young child, our parenting skills. Next week, inshallah, I will be talking to a sister, mashallah. She has many years experience helping new mothers bond with their newborn child, and what that entails, and what our heritage tells us. So many times we forget our heritage, and we just try and follow the country, our adopted country, and we fall short. We're neither here or there. So this is what I want to be talking about. If you would like to take part in my show as a guest, or taking part in the discussions, please let me know. You can contact Heritage Radio, and of course the studio line is 0161 883 2255, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I think it's a massive topic, but especially being at the British Muslim Heritage Centre is very apt. And mashallah, this centre itself, it has exhibitions exploring our heritage, exploring our Islamic heritage, and also exploring our British Muslim heritage. So I would be very interested to hear what you think, and inshallah it will be informative and entertaining and inspiring. So let's listen to another nasheed, and this is called On This Journey. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. And talking about legacy, there's a quote from the boxer Khabib. Mashallah, he is a true inspiration for many young Muslims, if not for young people everywhere. An amazing person, known not just for fighting, but because of his character as well. And he has said, I don't fight for the money, I fight for my legacy, I fight for history, I fight for my people. And mashallah, is such an amazing thing, and we can all join the fight, not physically, but we can fight emotionally, and like with the pen or whatever you can do to make our community strong. So I don't mean physical fighting, of course, but what I mean is that we could all help to improve the life of people around us, and we can motivate others to do good. And just on this note, be aware of community events. There is so much happening around us. If there's any food sales, get involved, either with the cooking or helping with the packing, or even buying the food. And I know that there are some clothes collections as well, so that's another thing that you can get involved with. And even sports wise or fitness wise, like I mentioned before, that joining a walking club is pretty amazing thing to do. So I hope inshallah today has been a motivation for you to do something positive. And inshallah I will see you, or I will speak to you again next week. And this is my new timing now, 2 to 4. So I know this program was called Lunchtime Heroes. Maybe it should be Tea Time Heroes now. But please may Allah keep you safe and well. And inshallah I will get to speak to you again next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.